Yo guys, what's up, it's Krypz, and today I'm going to be showing you 3 shaders you should obtain before the season ends. Now these shaders I'm talking about are Conflagrate, Old Growth and Mantle of Duty. These shaders are spread across the core activities. Now in this video I'll be showing you how you can get each of these shaders, as well as what it looks like on armor and weapons, so you know if you want to grind for it or not. But yeah, I have left timestamps so you can go and skip ahead to whichever shader you really want to see. And yeah, if you do find this video useful, then please drop a like and consider subscribing to the channel, as we are really close to 25k. And yeah, without further ado, it's time we get straight into the first shader. So the first shader I'm going over is going to be Conflagrate. Now if you don't know how to obtain this is from the Crucible. Now you do need to reach rank 10 in Valor. This is fairly easy to do, especially if you play like Trials or Comp, as this will also count towards your progress. So anyways, getting more into the shader, so it is a very nice red, definitely something you newer players would want to try and get. Now this is just a quick set I made so you all can see the different materials with the shader. So as you can see on plated pieces, it goes a very shiny red. It's more like a brushed red, not super clean. It does show some scuffs, as you could see on the arm here as well. And this can somewhat be said for the cloth. It is a lighter red, but as you can see it's a bit worn down. So this shader isn't a very clean one. It's got a bit of like scuff to it. It's not too bad though, but definitely something quite unique. Especially when you try and get that mixture between plating and cloth here. It can create a really nice look. Now with Empyrean here, we have a bit of red plating and also a bit of a silver. Now this silver isn't as shiny as the red, but it still has a little scuff look. Still looks really cool on this entire set here. Now I've also tested a bunch of shaderable glows, and all of them with the shader seem to go blue. So that is something to keep in mind. It will create a bit of a contrast, obviously, with the blue and red. Now moving on to weapons, just like the plating on the armor, goes a really shiny red on the hung jury here. It looks really nice. Got some light accent colors as well. Overall not too bad on weapons. And this is consistent across many different weapons as well. Here is the Izumi, and also here is the Seven Seraph. This has a more interesting look, showing more of the lighter color and actually not too much of a shine on the grip here. As you can see, it doesn't really go shiny red at all, but I still think it looks really awesome. And it's pretty much the same for vehicles. As you can see with this Sparrow, it's got the lighter red mixing with the metallic red. It's just a really nice combo here. And here is the Radiant Accipiter with it as well. I quite like this one because the accent color somewhat blends in with the primary color, giving it a much cleaner look. And yeah, that is pretty much Conflagrate. A really nice red shader, especially for newer players. This is something I definitely recommend picking up. But yeah, I would love to hear what you all think of the shader in the comments below. And yeah, it's time again to the second shader. So the second shader I'm going to be talking about is Old Growth. Now this is the one a lot of people I know are going to dread going for, as this is from Gambit. Now if you are wondering how you can actually go out and obtain this, it is again the same as Crucible, simply just hitting rank 10 in Gambit. Now unfortunately that does mean you have to hit 4,500 infamy. It's honestly not that high, but I know Gambit can be a real pain to play, so it will feel like a bit of a drag. Now as you can see on this set here, it has a very like worn down look. Hence why I picked some of these pieces to best show that. But yeah, honestly, even though it's a pain to get, I do think it's quite worth it. It is a really nice green shader. I've seen some really awesome looks for Titans as well. You could definitely pull something really nice off with this shader too. And this mainly works on plated pieces that I found. As you can see on cloth, it goes a bit of a lighter blue. And then as for glow colors, it's actually a mixture between green and white. So as you can see on Empyrean here, we have green here and then white here. And on the Celestial arms we have green with some white lines coming through as well. Now this does mean that the glow can change depending on what armor piece you're using. As you can see with Virtuous, it does go a full white. But yeah, that's pretty much how the shader looks on armor. Now moving on to the weapons, this is where the shader gets really interesting. As you can see, creating this really cool scaly effect. I absolutely love this, it looks awesome. It is pretty much just a full green, but this scaly texture really helps it stand out from other shaders. Now again, I want to show it on the Seven Seraph, as this weapon tends to shade all different colors. So as you could see, you could get some browns in as well, depending on the weapon really. But again, the green here does have a scaly effect, so it does maintain this throughout. And something that's really awesome as well is this actually goes over to the vehicles too. So as you can see, I use the invasive species to better match the set, but as you can see, the scales are still visible. And then here's a ship as well with a shader. I can't tell if it's actually doing the scaly on the brown here. It looks a bit scaly, but I don't know if that's because of the actual like design of the ship. But yeah, I definitely recommend this for more of like a rusted look, or like a serpent type of set, or even an EDZ hunter. And the green could also work with like the environment. But yeah, that's pretty much the old growth shader. It is definitely something I recommend getting, even though the grind's going to be a bit of a pain. I do think it's worth it in the end, especially for any of you looking for a really unique shader, especially on weapons. Like you've seen old growth creating a really cool scaly effect. I've never really seen that on any shader before, so it's definitely something I would recommend going out and getting. But yeah, just let me know what you think of the shader in the comments below. And yeah, without further ado, it's time to get into the third and final shader. So the final shader is Mantle of Duty. Now you get this shader from completing the week 9 seasonal challenge, Elemental Splicing, which all you have to do is beat 2 strikes on each subclass. Now as you can see, here is the shader on some armor. Obviously this isn't a set, this is just to demonstrate how a shader is on different materials. But honestly, I must say this is probably the worst shader of the 3. Now you will have to be careful of how it shaders, as on leather cloaks it will go orange, whereas on cloaks it will go black. Now if you do want a really nice black look to your cloak, then I guess you could use this, although there's a bunch of other shaders in the game that you can use to get a black look on any of your armor pieces really. And the thing that really lets me down is that the metallic colours here are really dull, so they don't stand out at all, and the shade is a bit like Dreaming Cast but with some orange. Now on the arms here, they actually don't look too bad. If it was just a nice black and orange, then I think that could have worked. But yeah, as you can see with the contender, you can get some whites on some pieces as well. It's just a really odd shader, and it is just going to vary depending on what armor pieces you are using. Now anyways, moving on to the weapons. As you can see, this shader unfortunately does not have any hidden tricks up its sleeve, but yeah, it's a real shame. This shader is honestly quite easy to get though, so it's not going to be as big of a pain as say getting old growth. And then here is on the 7 Seraph. Honestly it's not too bad on this weapon, although if the blue did pop a little more, I think it would look really nice, especially giving it a bit more of a shine. I think this would have really helped the armor out as well. But yeah, here is the vehicles with the shader. On this Sparrow in particular, it goes more orange than blue, so it's just a natural blue and orange, pretty much the Vanguard colours. And then again the Radiant Accipiter, giving it a nice blue with some orange accent colours. But yeah, they are pretty much all 3 of the shaders. Like I said, Mantle of Duty is pretty much the worst one of the 3. Not really offering anything that unique, but it's not really that much of an issue as most people probably got the shader without knowing. But yeah, if you did find this video useful, then please drop a like and consider subscribing to the channel, as we are almost at 25,000 subscribers. And also don't forget to comment down below which of the 3 shaders is your favourite. And yeah, I just want to say thank you all so much for watching and for all the incredible support to my previous video, which was Hunter Fashion Sets number 24. I will also leave the link to this video in the description. And yeah, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next video.